Welcome back to Wise Up Biz Talk, where they find a business lesson in everything and help you wise up. Let's get started with your hostesses, Em and Kim.
Hey, Emily. So there's this article online right now that's circulating regarding the Texas unemployment trust funds. How there's a lot of people that's getting payout from the unemployment, and that the fund is getting depleting. And eventually, we have to borrow money from the federal government. So by borrowing money, there's interest rate that's interest that's going to be occurring. So they're talking about how that cost might end up have to be passed on to the small business owner, especially the one that have to pay into the payroll taxes.
Yeah, so I did see that article with the Texas Tribune, and I mean, obviously this is going to vary state by state, and it is something that people need to be paying attention to, especially if you're a business who is paying payroll taxes and has a payroll, because ultimately you're going to be the one that's impacted by the unemployment side of things, right? So this one's hard because part of me thinks that states should be prepared for this, but I also think that no one was ever prepared for Corona and to that level. So, I mean, Texas does typically have a pretty healthy economy and things like that, but I'm not familiar with how they've responded to loans in the past. But as a small business owner who does pay payroll taxes, I'm not looking forward to that. I kind of am a little irritated because you've allowed people who are 1099 who don't pay into the unemployment side collect, which is fine. We talked about it. If you're 1099, you now have access to unemployment, but at the same time, I think that those people should have to pay into the system as well. And why not? Why not allow people who are 1099 to pay into that system for circumstances like this? I don't know. I just don't think that it's right to put it all back on the business owners when they were forced to close. It's not like we just shut our door. We were forced to close. People were forced to close their business. Now they're taking a hit in their own business, and then they're going to have to take another hit by increasing their taxes to pay for payroll tax. I don't know.
It's just like car insurance or house insurance, same thing. You pay a premium into it and you expect a claim if something would happen. And let's say that if the insurance company did pay out the claim, then you will see your next billing cycle or your next premium that you have to pay in, that the premium got increased.
But I guess it's different with insurance because, okay, for example, let's use Harvey. When Hurricane Harvey came through, flooded homes, flooded vehicles. I mean, our vehicle insurance went from $150 a month to almost $400 a month. Today, we can get it down to maybe $350, but you know what I'm saying? So I didn't have to file a claim, but we are putting our money into this pool to help for when we do have to file claims. Yes. I get it.
So the point being is that there's people that haven't paid into this bucket, but they are getting paid out for the unemployed. The benefit.
It would be like if we use this health insurance scenario, it would be like someone who has a vehicle that got flooded but wasn't insured, had their vehicle paid for, but they didn't put into this pool of money. And I think that's where the difference is. I think that the state should, I'm not saying go after people, but relook at these options. I mean, I personally think people who are 1099, if for some reason, a situation like this, they get unemployed, I kind of feel like they have to put into the system. I don't think it should be the sole responsibility of people who are businesses that have an actual payroll. And I think that everybody should contribute to the system. We're all in it together, right?
Yeah.
So the cash, don't just put it off onto somebody else. But ultimately, again, we are all in this together. So if that's what we have to do to repay back that loan. I think that loan, though, is going to be interest-free if they do have to go that route. But Governor Abbott did just start reopening businesses here in Texas starting later this week. So, I just think that, or beginning of May 1st, I think is his.
Well, hopefully we don't have to get the loan because they're talking about they do have enough funds until June.
Yeah.
So as he reopening businesses, so I guess as people gradually get off the unemployment,
Well, and I think they should also have a process about these people who were offered their jobs back and they turned it down because they were making more money on unemployment. So, I mean, that is a whole nother thing too, is like, when people start using, or taking advantage of the system, it really sucks because it's going to be passed off onto other people and business owners and things like that. The whole thing just kind of irks me a little bit, but I know that we're in it together and it does suck, but we got to resolve it together. I just think that everybody should have to put back into this. I don't think you should pass the buck off only to the businesses on payroll. You need to pass the buck off the 1099 people, and then you need to have something implemented for people who turn down their jobs. They need to repay that money back, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, going back to taxes, with the PPP and then the unemployment, all this money that the government is pumping into the to the market. Yeah. Like you have to think about it. Like eventually we have to pay back one way or another. It's not free money where it's growing on tree and then just printing nonstop.
Oh, that's what people think. People don't even know it. They don't know what programs are funded by. There's literally people out there who think government, when they pay for stuff, they just the government's going to pay for it. I'm like, yeah, but where do they get their money? Well, they print more money. That's where people think. And I'm like, no, it's taxpayer money. Whether you pay taxes, the business pay taxes, to pay tax on your food, on your gas, whatever, all goes to these tax funded programs. And that's why I hate using the word free. No, it's tax free. And someone says, well, in Europe they have free healthcare. No, they have tax paid healthcare. Let's stop lying to each other and lying to people saying free. It's tax paid. Your hardworking citizens are putting into this. Okay.
So going back to the taxes, so our current tax rate right now is going to set to expire in a 6-year term, a 6-year time.
Yep.
So just imagine after the 6 years, if we have all this debt, have you thought, the consequences of the tax rate might be increased? So a lot of people not knowing this, but, back in, I think the 80s, I believe, the tax rate was as high as, I think was 90%.
I'll tell you what, if our tax rate goes to 90%, I better be getting some free health care. Just kidding. No, I am a little concerned about that. And that's why people need to start looking at the future and stop living today, because ultimately you need to prepare for that. Just because you make X dollars today and keep Y dollars after taxes doesn't mean that that's going to be the same next year or
whenever they change the tax rate.
Yeah, so I am a little concerned about that. And you and I have had discussions on reducing tax liability, legally and lawfully, of course. And so people need to start thinking about that. This money is going to have to get paid back. It's being pulled from somewhere, not from a tree in the sky, from the heavens. Okay, it's getting pulled from somewhere and it's going to have to get paid back. So I don't know. I'm not in the government. So that's all I got to say.
Well, it's just food for thought. So what if we do a poll? Do you feel like it's fair for the small business owner, just the one that's paying employer tax or the payroll tax, to be paying this share, or it should be spread out equally among whoever, tap into the unemployment benefits?
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree that it should be equally.
Yeah. So let's do a poll. So check out our poll at the end on Facebook. All right. So I'll see you guys next time.
Ciao.
Thank you for joining us today on Wise Up Biz Talk. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and leave a rating. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Wise Up Biz Talk. Please share our episodes on your business page with friends and family so they too can wise up. always a business lesson in everything. See you on the next episode.